Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Fitness Day, we're going to talk about servers in space, a new weed that has emerged. So what exactly is the problem that we need to throw these puppies into space? Well, our hunger of compute as of now is basically stupid at this point in time. Like it is flat out ludicrous and realistically most of our water and power is being consumed from this. And here's the deal, it's being diverted from public as in, not even joking. I did not believe this to be true, but apparently it is that there are hiked electricity prices just so they can subsidize these things. Imagine that. Imagine you are living in a place like, remote community, everything is fine, everything is dandy, and bam, your electricity price goes up. Bam, you lose your water. So it is happening, and flat out, let this be very clear. China, Europe, America, everybody is going cuckoo on this, and it is flat out unsustainable. Meaning, if we keep building these things without stoppage, without like slowing down, we will shift delete ourselves. Like this is not sustainable, neither in terms of fresh water consumption, neither in terms of electricity consumption, neither in terms of resources consumption. Heck, RAM prices have become stupid. Like, can you imagine? Like there was a time where it's like, hey, cheap RAM, hey, it's like it's expensive now. It's like, how the heck RAM became expensive? Because these things are consuming too much. So fundamentally, we will destroy ourselves because of this madness if it does not stop. And whole world is dealing with this problem because now the countries have like mines bigger than yours. So everybody is spending money even if they have no money. It's almost like old school problem of nukes, basically how Iran is like, we're gonna starve to death, but we must have nukes. It's like, bro, you will starve to death. Oh, you ran out of water. So it's the same problem, like countries going cuckoos on this magic wonder thing AI, and they're like, let's destroy the country that is functional. So it is a serious problem. And again, we are not there yet, but if we do not apply disc brake right now, we will be. So why everybody wants to yeet these puppies into space? Well, there is a lot of space in space. You can say one thing, there is no lack of or shortage of. There's a lot of space in space. And you can, in principle, get 24 into 7 solar power. That also removes your power loading issue. And you are free from most natural disaster, as in earthquake, tsunami, cyclones. Basically, compare ISS's record. It's like nothing actually has happened. The ISS did not have to deal with flood, tsunami, typhoon, anything like that. Compare that to any place on Earth. For that many decades, it's like, yeah, earthquake happens, tsunami happens, this happens or that happens, something does happen. But when you're in space, you're free from those things. And people have imagination that space is cold, so cooling in space would be very easy. And we already have constellation, as in before recent times, recent as in like last 1 decade, if you have opened your mouth, it's like, we're gonna have 8,000 satellite in low Earth orbit, people will laugh at you. It's like, bro, it's not happening. We don't have that many rockets. And again, we can't even launch them fast enough, even if you can manufacture them. So reality was completely different in 90s versus what we have right now. So things have changed. So what exactly did it change? That is, people are thinking of this. Well, a rocket, that's the fundamental thing. We knew what to do. It just, like, again, read ancient. I mean, actually ancient. I mean, things that are written in 1900s or science fiction and all that. They were like, putting things in space. 1950, almost everybody figured it out. Early science fiction books, comics, stories, all of that. Star Wars, everything is just like space. But why the heck we are not there if we have been dreaming about it? It's just that we don't have rocket. So Falcon 9 changed the game, because here's the deal. Before Falcon 9, people did try to make a reusable rocket, but none of them were very successful or even close to being viable. What SpaceX realized is like, hey, what if you do something efficiently, optimize it? Do not focus on making a masterpiece of a rocket, focus on manufacturability. Can you copy paste this puppy 10,000 times, yes or no? So that did work, and from a rocket equation point of view, they figured out everybody is failing to reuse the rocket because they're making a very limited rocket. As in, like, if your tonnage to low Earth orbit for SpaceX, it was like roughly, I think, 10 ton to low Earth orbit for their commercial resupply mission. They're like, okay, build a rocket that is 10 ton. Keep scaling that rocket from 10 ton to 15 ton to 20 ton. And at that point in time, you have enough margin that you can send your 10 ton to low Earth orbit, your delivery, and still land back. Tada! Basically overbuild a rocket in terms of capacity. So the penalty of, coming back and landing can be managed. That's why like SpaceX, if you go to SpaceX website, they will flat out say for disposable rocket price would be higher, but your tonnage will be higher. For reuse system, it will be different. So they figured it out and then they made it work. So there is a before Falcon 9, there is after Falcon 9. This is after Falcon 9. So what does it mean? It simply means reusable rocket is real now. Now like, okay, it has to throw second stage. Yes, but it's not that big of a deal. First, it's a much smaller tank. Second, it only has 1 engine versus 9 engine of the base puppy. So in terms of how much money you're throwing away compared to normal rockets, it's not even comparable. And they have actually done it. It's not one thing to, oh, we have landed a rocket. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can do that. It's just that, have you actually made it into a system where it's economically viable to do so? They did. So, and more companies are trying it right now. Only few days ago, basically Blue Origin successfully managed to land their rocket, which is a big deal because that's the only second company that managed to do that. Like there is only 2 rocket company that can claim that they have orbital class rocket which have propulsively landing booster stage. And few more are under construction like Neutron and New Glenn is there. Others are also there. And here's still now like, okay, but that will still have a limit if you're still throwing a second stage away. Thankfully, people are working on what we call fully reusable rocket, and that's being cooked right now. So we have Starship that's supposed to have second stage that is fully reusable. So at that point in time, you are not throwing anything away. You're just like, it goes, it delivers, it comes back, the end. And Nova rocket, they are relying on basically aerospike geometry in order to get more oomph out of a lightweight rocket engine. So they can do a decel on very little fuel and actually manage to do second stage re-entry. So things have changed, meaning this whole designs, the whole idea of like a reusable rocket went from theoretical concept to something that exists to something that people are working actively on, meaning we can see a future in next decade or 2 decades where rockets are reusable. Like that's just a thing. Rockets reusable, the end. Like we will feel like odd where it's like, hey, back in the days we used to throw rockets. Like that has happened. So that's why there is so much excitement about space now. It's like, okay, the ladder to space is actually being upgraded. Now here's still, all of this is a lie. Because here's the, all the data center that we are, creating right now, as in 2025 or ready for 2026, they are stupid in terms of their scale. They are reaching a point where they're consuming more than 1 gigawatt. 1 gigawatt of power draw that is being crossed. It's like, yeah, this is 2 gigawatt. Like, I'm not joking. There are some Meta plant that they are claiming that it will consume 10 gigawatt. I'm like, what the F? Gigawatt is not something that you can just like, oh lol. That is a bonkers amount of energy. Even for a nuclear power plant, that's a bonkers amount of energy. Like that is just stupendous amount of energy. So what does that mean? That simply means we right now do not have enough rockets, enough solar panel manufacturing capabilities. And be mindful, you can't just take your normal solar panel and throw it in space. It will kaput itself very quickly. The solar panel that is rated for space, I'm not talking a CubeSat that are only made for like 1 year or 2 year. Something that is like, ISS grade, like, it's built for space is actually good. Like for example, military satellites have the best, they have what we call triple junction solar cell. You have single junction in your house. Those puppies can touch 51% thermodynamic efficiency and compared to like 20-25 what you have. So why don't we use it? It's idiotically expensive. It's not expensive, it's idiotically expensive. And having enough of it to meet that 1 gigawatt, yeah, that does not exist. Like, yeah, you just cannot do that. Like flat out, no. Science says that it can be done. Basically physics says it can be done. Engineering is like, no, we are not there yet. Even if Starship works, no, maybe stretching it enough, but maybe you could have done this with interplanetary transport. That was like basically predecessor of Starship, which was like a carbon fiber system that's supposed to carry 300 ton to low Earth orbit. Maybe. Like 1 gigawatt hour, even with solar panel, is not something that you're like, lol. It's not just like, no. Another aspect is, there is no orbit that gives you 24/7 power. I have no idea how the heck, like so many people are, oh, 24/7 orbit. No, most of the rocket tonnage that you see, or 20 ton to water, or like New Glenn 45 ton, they are for this LEO, as in 500 to 2000 kilometers. If you increase the orbit, you will lose your tonnage, as in the rocket that can send 45 ton to low Earth orbit will barely able to send 13 ton to geostationary orbit. And here's the low Earth orbit. I have no idea how the heck people forgot. Like it goes through Earth's shadow. Like you are going through Earth's shadow and it's 90 minutes. So It's like your solar panel now has to be 2x. Basically, instead of 1 gigawatt, it has to be 2 gigawatt, so it can charge 1 gigawatt of battery when it is in the sun side, and then you run the farm on the other side. And you're like, okay, what if I try sun synchronous orbit? It still goes through the Earth shadow. There are only some orbit, and if you try to have some orbit that is constantly maintained, now you have a thruster requirement. Now you have to have ion thruster that will consume a lot of basically electricity and argon or whatever have you in order to maintain the orbit. Geostationary could work, but again, it will work for 10 months without any issue, 24 into 7 solar. But there are some months it will go through the shade. So yeah, it's not that easy. So I have no idea like how everybody's like 24 into sun. It's like that can only be done properly, where it's like put and forget in Lagrange point. We can't send heavy things to Lagrange point. Like no, just no, nothing that has 1 gigawatt. Like no, just no. And another aspect is space is cold. Like who the heck confuse people? Say space is cold. No, space is not cold. You get cold. Like when person removes the spacesuit, like as they show in the Guardians of the Galaxy, it starts to freeze. The reason is outgassing. You are going from high pressure to expanding to vacuum, so your gases are sublimating. Basically, you are cooling down from that. Basically, you are evaporatively cooling. So that's why it's cold. It's not actually cold. Like if you actually put something, specifically high power density things, I'm not talking about like CubeSats that are very low power. I'm talking about 1 gigawatt. Yeah, at that point in time, if you do not do active cooling, you will melt. Like this is International Space Station. You see these white puppies? Like 6 of the big ones and 4 of the small ones? Yeah, those are radiators. And they're the size of a truck. And that's only few hundred watts. Kilowatts, sorry. We are not talking megawatt scale. You need almost the same size of solar farm, same size in radiator, and maybe even a bit bigger in order to make sure that you can dump enough heat. Otherwise, you simply will not be able to work it. The heat will build up. Photons do not dump enough energy. That's why we use a radiator. That's why we use basically condensers and all that. It's like you cannot dump enough heat using photons. In vacuum, only photon jumps. That's why vacuum is the best insulator. It's insulated. This is a space shuttle. That backside of the door, it was radiator. Otherwise, it would not be able to stay in space. I'm like, it could. It's just kaput the astronauts. So, flat out, like vacuum of space is bad for cooling. Really bad for cooling. Especially if you have the power. If you do not have power, no problem. If it's barely a probe that is consuming 100 watt, who cares? But if you are talking about something that is consuming 1 gigawatt, yeah, it's bad. And be mindful, you do not have the luxury of nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactor has the luxury that its hot side is actually hot, like 400, 500 degrees Celsius. You do not have computers that can work at that high. Best computers can go is like 120, and I am being way too optimistic. If you have 120 degree, your radiator size does go down. If you want to keep your computer at let's say 90 degrees, your radiator size goes up. 50 degrees Celsius, huge radiator. So I have no idea like how that, like you studied this in school. Like this is a known thing. You study it. You can check all the data of these things. Look into Chinese space station. It also has a radiator. Look into Gaganyaan, India's space station project. It has a radiator. Any Tom, Dick and Harry is trying to do Axiom space, radiator. That radiator is brutal, specifically if you are trying to touch 1 gigawatt hour. I'm not even talking about economics and cost. It's just like there is no 24 into 7 sun unless you go to Lagrange point, and at that point in time, yeah, your rocket will go, yeah, I could do 45 ton to low Earth orbit, or I could do 4 ton to Lagrange point. So, yeah, it's all lies. It's just like disconnecting two things. It's like, no. It's like edge computing. Every satellite has computer. It's like adding Raspberry Pi against H100. So why this is happening? Well, reality is we live in a world of stock market. Stock market is what we call speculation market, which runs on emotion. Emotion runs on hypes and dream. Meaning if you can sell hype and dream, people will pump up your stock. Meaning you will become rich. Like people, and here's the deal. This hype cycle has happened. We thought the same thing when like every company was, we're going to dunk our data center into the ocean. We do not have to worry about space. We do not have to worry about cooling. And hey, you do not need rocket launch. It's like effective. You can directly power it with wind power. So everything was like GG, awesome, go. What happened? Well, they realized something. Technology does not stay still. Meaning if you put a system here and let's say it's a perfect environment, a Microsoft analysis was this was 8 times better compared to, basically they made the hardware, the Control-C, Control-V did on land time, this and that gap was 8x, meaning 8x less failure rate on these things. It still became useless. Why? Because to economically recover, ocean, you have to put it and forget about it for few years. Here's the deal. Technology changes so quickly that electricity that you are sending here will become the most expensive part, not the computer. As in, let's say this puppy is consuming 1 megawatt hour for X amount of compute. Okay, cool, awesome. NVIDIA comes up with, let's say you had H100, NVIDIA comes up with H200. Now at 1 megawatt hour, you can do 2x of compute. You can't spend money on this anymore. It's like you just can't. It's like you can't waste money on this. You have to upgrade the CPUs, and that's what's the analysis of them. It's like, yeah, we can do this. Like it's a built thing. They physically built it, and this was like Mark 1. This was Mark 2, designed for mass production. They actually went like above and beyond to actually design this. Outcome was the same. It's like they have to keep updating it so quickly that it will not be economically viable. Now take this time frame, extend it to a decade or so. Yeah, it's not working. And every time you need a rocket launch to go and dock and remove the CPU cores, GPU cores and throw it away and then place new one, it's like, no, just no. We've been there. Like this road, we have walked onto this road. So, okay, question becomes, if I know this, why the heck other people? Now, to be fair, at least 5 to 6 people do know that is on YouTube. And another possibility, if you want to believe it, you will not look. That's the reality of it. Like people wanted to believe solar roadway, even though every single brain cell is like, you cannot put a solar panel on a transparent substrate under the road. But people burnt a $2 billion on this. $2 billion. Yeah. If you want to believe it, your brain will shut off. That's the biggest danger you have. Stock market. And again, how does brain turn off? It does argument from, oh, you know, so they don't know. It's like, of course they know. It's like somehow people have this retarded idea of like, oh, engineers are working on it. It's like, bro, I can get you any engineer to work on any project as long as you give me enough money. Engineer will work on any. Judges are corrupt. That's the reality of it. Judges are not absolute immovable. We pay them for that. Engineers do not get paid for morality or like, you know, validity of a project. If you're like, hey, build this stupid thing, they will build it. It's like, who cares? It's like, pay me? Okay, I'll work on your solar roadway. Oh, pay me for Hyperloop? I will work on it. It's like, I need salary. And again, everybody who will warn you because you want to believe in, you will trigger argument from, oh, so they don't know. I saw Linus Tech Tips doing this with Hyperloop. So that was like sad to see, but I was like, you are a business operator. You should know that engineers will work on anything if you pay them. And the people who were behind it, pump and dump scheme, they became rich, you became poor, everybody became dumber. So it has happened. Like we have walked this road, this whole thing has happened again and time. This is happening right now. So flat out, what does it mean? It means they will get grants from government, they will get subsidies from government. Again, electricity subsidy is happening and they will, stock value will rise, they will become rich and you will become dumber and poorer. So that's why it's happening. Like at this point in time, it's like if you believe in it, and again, people have to believe it in, otherwise this line go up will not happen. If people were not dumb, like I saw some very competent, like computer people, like I'm here in computers, they're like, I can't see them. That's how high up them. They're like, oh, we have cooling in space. I'm like, you have ISS, data is public. Look into it, how hard it is to cool it down. It has ammonium refrigeration system. Ammonia, sorry. Because they wanted something that is low toxicity and all that. Yeah, not that easy. Very difficult. And do 1 gigawatt is like, no. It would be much easier. Like instead of doing this, have a data center at the edge of the sea and just put a low temperature thermal desalination. Take all the heat, dump it into low temperature thermal desalination, get fresh water out of it. That will solve your cooling. And instead of consuming water, you will generate what we call fresh water. That is the easiest thing. Another, what about energy? Instead of putting space station, basically the whole data center space, put solar panels in space, beam its energy down, because again the energy is no longer being used there, so waste energy will be very minor, and dump that energy into the earth. Tada! Those are far more logical compared to what if you put the data center in space. It's like, bro, we don't talk in megawatts when we are talking about in space. You want something that is in gigawatt scale. It's like everybody wants so badly this thing to be true. It's like, it's sad. It's like, we've been there, like we've been through this. So this was my presentation on this modern hype damage that, putting data center in space. Hopefully you have liked it, learn from it. In that case, please see the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike. Press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.